Good evening, everyone. This is Nicole Ali. I wanted to do a video about the role that genetics plays in opioid addiction. I know that Lisa Cabrera has done a lot of work on the opioid plague that is affecting those with high IQs right now. And Torian Rain has even done work in the past where he talked about thugs everywhere. He had a series of videos entitled Thugs Everywhere. I love those videos. They were some of the highlights of my day when he put them out back to back to back. And a lot of them were drug-induced crimes that were occurring. But I know for sure, based on what I've read and what I see, that there has to be some type of genetic connection with addiction and how this opioid plague is growing and has grown so quickly. So this article comes from CNN, and it states that researchers have identified another gene, which means that they have identified others, and these genes could influence the risk of opioid dependence, according to this new study. And that adds to the evidence that genetic factors play a crucial role in determining who develops addictions. So, the study was published in its final form Thursday in the journal Biological Psychiatry. It analyzed the genomes of more than 5,000 Americans who had been exposed to opioids, looking at the differences between those who develop opioid dependence and those who didn't. This was published 2018 in February. The researchers found a genetic variant on one chromosome near a gene called RGMA, and that was associated with opioid dependence in European and African Americans. Members of the same research team have identified other genetic variants related to opioid dependence in the past. Now, a genetic variant is just an alteration of a gene, a mutation of one gene. So you have one gene where the structure is a certain sequence, and a variant would be adding on to that sequence or taking away from that sequence. So I actually found the article that talks about what they just discussed in the CNN article. This is a genome-wide association study that identified a regulatory variant of RGMA associated with opioid dependence in European Americans. Now, we all know the background is real short. Opioid dependence, or OD, is at epidemic levels in the U.S., and these genetic studies can provide insight into its biology. They completed an opioid dependence genome-wide association study in 3,058 opioid-exposed European Americans, 1,290 of whom met criteria for the DSM-4 diagnosis of opioid dependence. So the DSM is the Diagnostic and Statistics Manual, the psychiatry or psychology manual. The analysis used the DSM-4 criterion count. So they use the DSM-4, not 5, excuse me, the DSM-4. The results show by meta-analysis of 4 cohorts, Yale-Penn 2, 3, and the SAGE study, which is a study of addiction, genetics, and environment. They identified a variant on chromosome 15, and the name of the variant or the mutation is RS12442183 near RGMA. And RGMA is a gene that encodes repulsive guidance molecule A. It's a very important gene that is a central nervous system axon guiding protein. So if you don't have RGMA working properly, it affects your nervous system, your central nervous system axon guidance, and the protein is important also in addiction and in mood and behavior, cognition. So the association was also genome-wide significant in Yale-Penn 1, taken individually and nominally significant in 2 of the other 3 samples. The finding was further supported in a meta-analysis of all available opioid-exposed African Americans from 3 cohorts. There was nominal significance in 2 of these samples. Thus, of 7 subsamples examined in 2 populations, 1 was genome-wide significant, and 4 of 6 were nominally significant. So let's just get to the conclusions of what they got. They used black 6 mice, which is what the CBL C57BL/6J, that's what a black 6 mice, that's a black 6 mouse strain. Their conclusions show that there is an association with RGMA with OD, and it provides a new lead into our understanding of OD pathophysiology. So what they're saying is that European Americans tend to have the mutated form of this gene, and that increases their risk of being addicted to opioids. And I knew there had to be some kind of genetic association, or some type of at least a genetic hypothesis that could be given for why these people are so addicted to this one particular type of drug. I'm glad that the study was done. I hope there'll be studies like this in the future. Let me know what you think in the comment section. I'll leave links in the description box.